Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Well, I know, I just bumped into you by accident. Hey, there's no reason to get so angry. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Hello sheep, what are you doing in my living room? Here I am trying to do my intro and this happens. This always happens, the sheep like to spawn inside of the house. But never mind, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft The Journey, the Let's Play series where we have been taking a vanilla survival world and are upgrading it through all of the versions of Minecraft right from the very beginning, and we'll keep upgrading all the way through to the modern release. Who knows when that'll be, some point in the future, probably 10 years time. I don't even know. But right now we're playing Minecraft Beta 1.2 and I've been doing some improvements around the house here. In the last episode we built this very strange ceiling light. As you can see, it's got some buttons orbiting it, and this is, well, it's taking advantage of a glitch in this version of Minecraft, and I don't know how long it's going to remain like this, but it seems to be very stable for the time being. The buttons do tend to move a little bit. You can see they're all now at different positions than they were the last time you would have seen it, but, you know, that's just how this glitch works, so I'm rolling with it. We got ourselves a couple of beanbags here. I like these little additions to the house. I think they just make it feel a little bit more alive. And I've been doing a bit of work on the rear wall here because it was a little bit bland and it just needed something. So I've put in a weird, it looks like a big picture frame with a giant bookshelf frame, if that makes sense. And here is a picture, and behind the picture is glowstone to give it a little bit of extra lighting as well. And here we're making use of the new note blocks as a bit of an accent block for this picture. And through the back here, we still have to work on our kitchen, although I have dug this out and resized the room a little bit and put in this wall, which may or may not stay the way that it is, I'm not sure. As for upstairs, I've done a little bit of decorating in this room and I decided to install a pool table. I think it's pretty big, isn't it? But I think that's all you can do with the blocks that we have. Have a look at this as well. I have managed to place a torch on top of a note block, and you can't do that. You can't place torches on top of things like crafting tables and note blocks. And the way that I did this is I exploited that same bug that I mentioned previously, where if you place a torch against the bottom face of a solid block in a corner, the torch will go in an upright position and then it will eventually snap back once it realizes that there's no solid block underneath it. I tried to use this to, here, let me show you. If I get a fence and put the fence down, what I wanted to try and do was use this trick to, let me put a block here, to try and see if I could get something like this, where you've got a torch on top of a pole. But unfortunately, it doesn't stay like that. That one might actually stay like that, I don't know. It might also flip onto this log here. There you go. Yeah, I had a feeling it just wouldn't stay like that. But for some reason, when you use this identical trick on, say, the note block, have a look at this. I can't place a torch on a note block. But if I put this here and this here and this here, then do this, then get rid of these blocks, just like so, that torch will stay there, and I don't think it will ever go anywhere because there's no other block for it to snap onto. So yeah, I think that'll remain like that forever. But right now we need to get out of the house and head to the other side of the lake, because it's over here where we said we would get a little bit more industrialized. Over that side of the lake is, of course, my house, and through here will be the fishing village where all of the fishing villagers will live. And I think up here where the decking is, and behind here at this area, this side of the lake, is going to be the town center, the sort of communal buildings and things like that. But over here, this side is going to be industrialized. There's a lot of dirt here, and I'm probably going to have to get rid of a lot of that. I mean, there's a big ugly thing there and other things like that. I think there's going to be a lot of digging involved. But what I do want to build is a tree farm, and I do have a good spot for it, which is over here behind this hill, actually. I probably won't dig all of this back. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. But through here, there's a nice flat area. If I just go through here, ooh, nearly fell down that, whatever that is. I've been through here before and I've shown this area on camera as well. But you see how there's this nice big open area? Well, we're going to turn this into a tree farm and then build some sort of building, maybe here or in place of where that mountain is, in order to store all of our logs. Right now it's turning nighttime, so I better find somewhere to cower away from the creepers, and then we'll get started building the basic area. Oh, I do not want to move this mountain on my own. It's so much digging. Okay, I think I'm going to have to ask you for your help. I know you think there's not much you can do, but believe me, there is, okay? We are going to use the power of the mind. All right, I know you think I'm a quack, but trust me, this is going to work. Okay, now just focus your mind on that tree. Think about it clearly. Now imagine the tree being cut down. Ready? Focus. Look at that, look at that. It worked. I can't believe this worked. Okay, focus your mind again. Concentrate on the top section of that mountain. Let's get rid of it in our minds. Think about it. It's gone. Just like that. This is easy. This is easy. Okay. This is a bigger chunk. Ready? Focus your thoughts on that big middle chunk. Imagine it disappearing. Oh, concentrate a bit more, a bit more. That's it. Oh, I wish all landscaping was this easy. Okay. We're almost there. Let's get rid of that thing on the right-hand side. It's ugly. Oh, well done. Well done. You just did it like that. So easy. Okay, we've got one more piece to do. It's that big, ugly section in the middle. Focus those thoughts. This is the last one. And... oh, you are just amazing. Look at that. Let's go and check out all of your hard work. I'm so impressed. You dug this out. You dug this out with the power of your mind. I think we're going to have to trim this down a little bit further though, but don't worry. I'll do that myself. I'm quite happy to put in some of the work. And as you can see behind me, I have finished digging out that space now, and I've started marking out the area where the log warehouse building is going to be. You remember what I said about how whenever you build a building for a farm, you end up using a lot of the ingredients that you end up farming, and that is very, very true of this building. It's going to be made up predominantly of logs and wood, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Who are you? What do you want? Leave me alone. I'm not prepared for this. You're going to blow up, aren't you? No. Okay. Good, good, good. Whew. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. You end up using a lot of the materials that you end up farming. And in this build, I'm going to need a lot of logs. So I better get chopping. Have a look at this. I have been chopping down trees all night long, and I've got so much wood now. This is more than I need for the build, but it will give me some extras as well, and I'm always needing wood, so that's just handy. And that's exactly why we're building a tree farm in the first place, right? To make my life a little bit easier when it comes to harvesting trees. But here are a couple of things that I've noticed about chopping down trees in Minecraft, or specifically Beta Minecraft. First, I think we all know this trick, where you can place a block in the sky at a certain height, I think it's 5 blocks, and that will prevent the humongous oak trees from growing, like these variants here, because they're such a pain to climb up and find all the stray logs and chop them down. So that's just a convenience factor, and we'll probably use that in the design of the chopping area of this farm very, very soon. One of the other things is that if I plant down a sapling and use my bone meal on it, it only takes 1 bone meal to grow a tree every single time. So that's a real convenience factor because I'm not wasting bone meal every time I'm trying to grow a tree. Here's a fun one for you. Notice how my cursor is right up against the edge of this block here, but I'm not stepping over that line into the next block. So according to the game, I am standing on this block here. Now, if I plant a sapling in the block in front of me, and then use bone meal to grow the tree, I get X-ray. Isn't that cool? And the reason I get X-ray is because my line of sight might be inside of the tree trunk, but as we saw before, my player's position is technically on this block here, the grass block. And because that grass block has air above it and where my head is, I don't take suffocation damage because I'm not inside of the tree trunk. So I just think that's a cool way of getting a bit of X-ray. And of course, if I do step into the tree trunk, I take suffocation damage. Okay. Enough fooling around, it's time to get building. It's morning and it is finished. Look at that. It's a big industrial warehouse style building. And the design behind this was really something that just popped into my head. I couldn't get this image out of my mind of logs and wood in a kind of ribbed effect all the way around. So if we pop down, we can take a closer look. Now, oh, I can't get up there. I can get up here. Now, this is in the design of the modern shape of a modern day warehouse, i.e. a big square building. But as I said, I really liked the idea of having these logs and this wood here in this 3D style effect. Now let me show you what's going on. From the front here, you can see we've got a window up the top, a roller door, garage door sort of thing here, and a crane. The crane is doing some lifting of some logs here, probably for when a truck comes up to load up in front here. It's able to load them on and off of the truck. But here's where the magic is inside and out the back. I've spent quite a bit of time doing the detail in the back here to try and give this place some life. So you can see here that it's fairly large for a little warehouse, but there's a lot going on. Over here on this side, we've got some logs here piled up waiting for somebody to do something with, or I should say some planks, because over here are some logs. These are some birch logs. Maybe they're waiting to be palleted up for shipping or something like that. And over here, there's a bunch of oak logs that are ready for shipping. And have a look at this. I used the classic rail thing here to strap down these logs, but for some reason, it doesn't link up over here, although in the back here, this one does. Don't ask me why, only that one works. It's a little bit strange. Above us here is, I guess this is like a pulley, because we've got this counterweight here, and this might be useful for moving big heavy logs around the warehouse and that sort of thing. Maybe you can imagine that this thing moves back and forth along this axis, and that this thing can move back and forth along this axis, allowing full access to the full floor here, or something like that anyway. Through the back here and up the ladder, we've got a storage area. This is full of shipping crates, probably full of logs ready to go out to various locations around the world. And I made use of these note blocks here because to me, in this sort of configuration or this sort of design, they look a bit like little shipping crates, whereas this is obviously just a chest. So this area up here is very, very full, a bustling area of busy shipments. Over here is the back section of the crane, which is, as we saw before, used for heavy lifting out the front of the warehouse here. And around the side we have a bit of an eatery area for all the workers who work in this factory. It's not really a factory, a warehouse. Well, yeah, this is where they have lunch, because everybody needs a place to have a break and have lunch, and that's what this is all about. Down here we've got an office, as we can see in here. This is just the little site office, and it's got a chest and a picture, a filing cabinet and a desk, just the basics that are necessary for operating this little warehouse. We've got a little rubbish bin here as well. Through the back here and up the top, we've got roof access. There's not very much up on the roof, but I might add one or two more things later. What you can see though is you can see this is possibly some sort of air conditioning unit or something. Use your imagination. And over here we've got an antenna, probably for the television signal that the workers use when they're watching TV while having their lunch. As we go down to the bottom here, over here we've got a log, and it's inside of this mechanism. And I sort of imagine this as maybe being a saw or something like that. Very, very difficult to do in beta Minecraft with the limited blocks, but I put this single log here so that it shows that this log is being processed. It's going through something at the moment, so you've got to use your imagination a bit, but that's okay. I'm sure you've got one, so you can use it. Out the back here, we've got a lot going on now. This is the outdoor area of the log warehouse where we're growing trees, and this is where we're going to be able to farm the trees, grow the trees, and chop down the trees. These are little 5x5 sections that denote each individual tree's space to grow, and we can just come along and bone meal these as we see fit and, not do that. Let them grow and chop them down. Over here on this side, we've got a bit of a supplies pit. So these are just 3 separate sections, each full of things. Gravel, some cobble, and some logs. Maybe it's firewood or something like that. Imagine you bring your trailer or your truck and you just load up what you need and then you pay for it and then you leave. That was the idea behind that. And behind that over here, we've got some spare log storage, and we've got this thing. This is the best I could do for a truck. It's funny looking, isn't it? But look, it's got headlights, it's got a grill, it's got doors on the side which you can get into, and you can come in here and look out the windscreen. And of course, in the back of the truck here, it's full of logs that are either being delivered or they're being taken away. I'm not sure which. Very difficult to do this kind of detail in Minecraft, but it was a challenge, but I enjoyed doing it. Over this way and through here, you can see as well we have a what is this called? A greenhouse. That's the word I'm looking for. So made of glass, obviously, and inside the greenhouse are some saplings. They're probably growing up these saplings, getting them ready for plantation in the main chopping area over here. I would say that's what that's for. And over this way, we have got a water tower. The water tower is here to collect some rainwater for probably watering the trees, something like that. And through here, we've got just a little bit of a rough garden with some crops growing in here. So that is the basic gist of this build, and I really love it. It is a very plain building from the outside, but I do really love the effect of the logs, as I said, and I love all the little details going into the inside as well. I really love doing the detailing, as you have probably seen. It's one of my favorite things to do. So if you've got any suggestions for any improvements or ideas that I could implement in a place like this, go down into the comments and do let me know. There is one new feature that was added to the game that I would like to have a look at, and that's a new component in the redstone family, the Dispenser. It was just added in Minecraft Beta 1.2, and over here at the crafting table, I should be able to make one with these ingredients here. To make one, we need to place cobblestone down in this pattern, surrounding a bow, and then a piece of redstone dust at the bottom, and look at that, we get ourselves a dispenser. Let's have a look at this thing. The classic dispenser texture with its angry yelling mouth and its really angry aggressive eyes. I can see why they changed this. This wasn't a very pleasant texture to look at. It just makes you feel cross and angry, right? Well, let's test it out. To do that, we're going to load it up with some arrows, and I've got a button here ready to go as well. If I put the button down beneath it and press the button, this thing should dispense an arrow at me. Ready? Oh, ow. Yep, that hurt. Okay, I'd like to have a look at it from the side and see how far the arrow will go. So, alley-up. Oh, okay, that went pretty far. That's probably around about 20 blocks, I would say, I would estimate. It's not exactly linear either. If it was traveling in a very direct straight line, it would have landed right here on this block. And that's typical of the dispenser, as we've seen in all versions of Minecraft. When it dispenses the item, it doesn't always come out with exactly the same trajectory or exactly the same direction. What I would like to know, though, is if I can use this thing to grow up a tree. So if I harvest or break, that's the word, that, and put it down on the ground over here, if I take a sapling and fill the dispenser with bone meal, get my button, let's see what happens. So if I put the button, probably the best place to do the button would be here on the side, that'll do. Now, putting the button here and pressing the button should activate the dispenser, and hopefully it'll dispense the bone meal, and by dispensing it, it'll grow up the tree. Let's have a look and see what happens. I got my bone meal back. So at its current stage, the dispenser is not smart enough to dispense something into a block that will cause an action to happen. And unfortunately, we won't be able to use this to grow trees yet, but I suspect that in the future, we will. Well, as always, it's been a pleasure having you along with me in this episode of Minecraft The Journey. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy yourself, then please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, or leave a comment. There are links to my Discord down below and to Patreon as well, if you'd like to help me out even more. Thank you to my wonderful patrons who are going the extra mile to support me, it's greatly appreciated. But until the next episode, this has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye-bye!